Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of my video. This is the actual restringing part that I'm going to show you. So, we're going to start with the low E string. So, I'm going to put it through right here. And lift it up over the saddle. Put it all the way through. Now, here's where it gets really important to the measuring. I usually go about one tuning post over. So I'll measure from here to here, and when I get to here, I'll take my needle nose and I'll use it to crimp the line like so. And you're gonna want to feed some of the string into the actual tuning post. So I usually measure it by my finger, you know, an index finger, the top digit of your index finger, and then don't snip your fingers while you're doing this. So you want to go a little bit up. Remember, this bent part is just going to go into the post. So music nomad. Okay, so now we have our crimped line, and we're going to feed it into the post like so. And get it down in there, and we are going to take, we're going to get it set up. You always want to keep your windings going underneath. So when you measure it forward like that, and you crimp the line, what you're doing is you're creating slack, so you have windings. I usually go about 2 windings. I think 2 windings is pretty good. So I'll take my Music Nomad spinner, get it in there good, and start winding. I have an electric one of these from Dunlop. I don't know where it's at. So I'm gonna go ahead and wind this, but you see how this works. So I'm not gonna bore you with the actual winding, but I'll show you what I mean by when the windings need to be done. You need to keep them underneath the post as it's winding, because that's gonna help lock it into place. It's gonna help it stay in tune. So yeah, I'll get back with you guys in a few seconds. Also, you wanna kind of keep your thumb. I use my thumb to hold the string down, so your windings will stay down and underneath. And here we go with the windings. Here we go. Getting there. Yeah, so once you don't want to tune the pitch yet, because it's a brand new string. So what I usually do is I'll use this method between my thumb and my forefinger, or my thumb and my index finger, and I'll stretch the string out, get it bent, the nut. Go back and forth, up and down, like so. Try to bend it behind the bridge as well. And yeah, and after you do that, you can tune it, play it. Some people say boiling your strings to stretch them out. You know, different people have different methods, but this manual method is usually the way I do it. So yeah, so it's pretty much a repeat process after this. I'll say what I like to do for the when you get down to the last of it, the last tuning post down here, I will just like do like that and measure it that way. But usually with that G, you're gonna end up using most of the string anyways. So when I get to that part, I guess I'll film that also so you guys know what I mean. But see what I mean about the wraps and it staying underneath? See how there's one wrap and then the other wrap starts underneath it? That's what I mean by keeping the wraps underneath. You don't want to have them on. In other words, you don't want to have it on top, because then you're just going to make a hornet's nest. I remember trial and error when I first started out playing guitar and everything, and I didn't know no better. I would always make a hornet's nest at the top. Went through a few packs of strings before I started, you know, getting it somewhat right. But anyways, all right guys, so I'll catch up with you guys in a bit. Okay, now getting back to the nitty gritty of the D and G of the strings. So you want to, and I want to measure it out before, but I'm going to go a little bit past what I said from post to post. I'm going to actually go about maybe a post and a half. So I'm actually going to crimp it. So here's a post and a half, so I'm going to crimp it right here. I'm hoping that it's catching that. Let me see. Okay. I'm going to be showing you guys how I do it. So from here to here, and then just about a half of that width. And then go ahead and bend it, crimp it. And then, like I said, go about a 4 fingers width. Don't snip your finger. Process. Go ahead and get her down in there, that post. And also, make sure that your string stays underneath the string tree. I've been in a hurry so much once that I actually did it and it went over, and I had to go back and just loosen it up to tuck it under. But that's just because, you know, you don't really want to rush these kinds of things. But I can understand if you're a roadie and you got to do an emergency string change. Okay, in that instance, yeah, you want to go ahead and be quick. So we're going to take it, we're going to wind it, make sure that our thumb stays over here, so that way our wraps will stay underneath instead of on top, and our string stays underneath the string tree. And when I get to winding it, so like I'm fishing. Haven't been fishing in a long time. Would really like to go. You got my fishing license though. So here we go. Try to get this up a little bit more, because sometimes your strings will have a habit of they'll stay around the base of the post, and you don't want that either. So here we go. Getting her in place. And the wraps are coming. String tree. Shit, almost lost the bass. I usually use a mat. I have a Music Nomad guitar mat for this, but I cannot find it to save my life right now. But I am using a towel